Now, it's time for Straight on the Point with your host from some undisclosed location. Here's Jesse T.
Well, it's good to be back with you here on the Jesse T Show. Hey, all right, we're back. We're live. We're on the air and everywhere from the community to the world. We're good to be here broadcasting live on the powerofvoices.com. Our radio feed is back up and rolling. Lee, the techno genius he is, got things all fixed up and ready to go. Last week we had some challenges, both visual and audio, but we've got it all hooked up and cleaned up, and those all-night affairs he had with his computer, I guess, worked out really well. All right, Lee, congratulations to you. Appreciate the good work at www.thepowerofvoices.com, as well as the AVTV Live in the Digital Broadcasting TV Network. Now, what does that entail? Well, we are on Instagram Live. Instagram's checking in, saying hi to Marty-ish, who just joined us. Marty-ish, hopefully you can hear me. Let's do a sound check to you, Marty-ish. Saying hi to Periscope, who's checking in. We got 7 up on Periscope already. Periscope, good to have you along with us. Yes, as I adjust my light here just a little bit to bring up a little bit more light in here, because you never can have enough light when you're broadcasting visual experience like we do here at the Power of Voices. I think that's probably a little bit better to go. Let me reach over and kind of put this here like this, give you guys just a little bit more light. There it is, right there. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit better. So Periscope's checking in with us. Facebook Live, of course, is checking in with us, and right here at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. So we are on the air and everywhere. We got Facebook backed up by Facebook, also the Power of Voices and Straight on the Point on the Facebook Live feed. And don't forget about our friends over there at YouTube Live and the Power of Voices. We're on that network as well as many others. We got the big boys covered, and there's a whole bunch of others that are broadcasting and taking our feed live, as well as when we archive up after the show. So it's good to have you along with us here on Tuesday in Southern California as we move to a beautiful, beautiful, big July 1st weekend. And of course, 4th of July is coming up, and a great celebration. We spoke about that a couple of days ago, you and I. And remember always to celebrate properly and have a great time with your family. If you go back in our archive show, you'll see the show I did. I played a whole bunch of terrific military marching hymns, all the music from the Navy, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, and the National Guard. We covered all those battle hymns, and that was really exciting because I really love that type of music. It's just, it's so gallant and honorable in that respect. And we talked about what really 4th of July should mean versus what it did or does mean to people. Saying hi to Carl Gilkey, who has us on. Thanks a lot, Carl Gilkey, for joining in with us here at the Facebook Live feed. Appreciate that, Carl. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Carl Gilkey. Carl Gilkey, known as originally Hamburger Helper. Yeah, Hamburger Helper, because he was Hamburger Man's helper when he was just a little kid. One of the very best DJs I had ever come across way, way, way back in 1985, 86, when he was just a wee tyke of maybe 14, 15, 16 years old. This guy was just fantastic. What he could do with his magic fingers. And ladies, I'm not just talking about that. What he could do with his magic fingers were unbelievable, how he could mix music together. And one of the things that he was so very good at, Carl Gilkey, who has us up, one of the things that he was so very good at was he could mix country, rock, he could mix new wave, punk, hip hop, R&B, soul. He could mix it all, even classical. The guy had just the ability to put things together, and that was way before the computers, did all the beats per minute and all that coordination. He was just terrific. Well, I found him when he was just a wee tyke teenager and changed his name to Hayes, the hazel-eyed brother, because he has these beautiful green hazel eyes, and Hayes, and he became my very first High Energy Mixer at 1580 K-Day, along with, right at the same time, I brought on Eddie Kino, and Eddie Kino was known as Flavor at the time. Now he's known as Eddie, I believe he's known as DJ Eddie right now. The Capricorn Boys joined us, and as well as Jetem and Ruben from Jetem, and they were my mainstay DJs doing the Wheels of Steel, baby, for me at 1580 K-Day. And we had a show called the High Energy Show, which was broadcast on 1580 K-Day AM here in Los Angeles. As you may or may not know, folks across the nation, K-Day was the very first station commercially to go hip-hop and play rap music in a combination with dance music in 1983 all the way till 1991. And then Fred Sands, the real estate magnate, bought it and went it dark and brought it as a business channel, sold it off to some Koreans, and now the Koreans own it now as a Korean broadcasting facility. But during that time, we were the first ones to play hip-hop 24/7, 7 days a week, and we did it for almost 10 years. Kind of broke the mold and showed the record companies and the marketers that there was money to be made, not just in the street, but selling records and CDs and cassettes. With that genre of music. Of course, we were there right from the beginnings of time, and Straight Outta Compton, well, it was a nice movie, but not exactly the way I remember it, but pretty close. All those players and all those cats we knew real well, and I did too. And I talked to Dr. Dre probably about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, pitched him an idea. He didn't go for it, but nevertheless, we do have those ongoing relationships. So we were there at the very beginning of it all. I'm one of the OG guys on the air. And, of course, all the rest of the fellas that got to talk about Greg Mack and J.J. Johnson, Russ Parr, Jack Patterson, Don Tracy, Lisa Canning, Mark Morganella, and myself, Jesse Terrero, Jesse T, the Brown Beauty, on duty. Well, we had a show called the High Energy Show where we broadcasted live every Saturday night from the Casa Camino Real, that's Washington and Oak Street in downtown Los Angeles. You can see it right where the freeways meet, the 10 and the I-10 freeway meet right there. It's called Vertigo right now, and that was our building. We packed them in there through 3,500 people strong every Saturday night, bring out the groups, and actually broadcast their live shows on the radio at K-Day. In stereo, AM stereo. We were one of the first ones to do that ever for about 40 or 50 years prior, when they used to do big band music during World War II and broadcast live across the nation from different venues. Well, we did that, kind of re-energized that, and we brought that up in a combination of hip-hop and dance and music. It was just terrific, little K-rock style and pop music that fit in there too. And we had the 4 DJs, Hayes, Carl Gilkey Hayes, the Hazel Eye brother, Hayes, as he's known as, was one of our main guys there, along with Le Flavor, or DJ Eddie, and the Capricorn Boys, and Jetem Ruben, all from different parts of Los Angeles, brought them together, and it was a great show. Did that for several years, then took it on the road, and must have did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows, bringing out all the best artists, sort of a variety show on the radio, on the air, and everywhere, live with yours truly, me, Jesse T. So saying hi to Carl. Thanks a lot for having us on, Carl. He eventually, we negotiated a deal for him at Motown. I got him on Motown Records, and we broke away from then after a year, moved over to the Sunshine Records. He teamed up with 2 other guys, A.J. Mora and Humpty Vision, Richard Humpty Vision, and we started a group called The Movement, which had a #1 dance Billboard song up in the top 40 of Billboard 100, and broke lots of gold records all around the world for a couple of the big hits that we had there. And then we eventually got signed to Arista Records, and with Clive Davis. What an interesting character he is. Nice man. Always did good by me, but interesting character no less. And then from there, we moved on to other groups, and Hayes went on his way, and we moved on to other things. So that's kind of the history there. Saying hi to Gwen Legge, who has us on. Gwen Legge's got her brand new website up and rolling, eruption.com, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gwen Legge, trying to get her in here because, you know, we do the boxing. If you go to facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, you'll see the fights that we broadcasted round by round, punch by punch. We did the ringside. I called the fight while the Jolton J, Jeff Langton, my boxing master and expert, called the color. Lee, the big Lee Baby Michaels was there running the board and doing all the technical stuff. Great fight. We got some MMA stuff coming up and some other boxing matches that we're going to be broadcasting live here on the powerofvoices.com, as well as our AVTV Live and the Digital Broadcasting Network. So look forward to that. It is archived up, and you'll see that. And Gwen Legge, she does a lot of stuff with boxing and MMA. Gwen, you should give me a call now. I'll invite you only one more time, Gwen. One more time. I'm going to invite you down to do the show. Now, you want to tap into our audience. I'm telling you, Gwen, come on now. Okay, I love her. She's just terrific. Great businesswoman and entrepreneur. People checking in on Periscope right now, saying hi to Andrea Ruhenes. Andrea Ruhenes. Thanks a lot, Andrea, for checking in. Saying hi to Mama T. She's up there on Instagram Live. Thank you very much. And Marty-ish is joined us there. Hopefully you guys can hear us on Instagram, running a new mic system through there. Hopefully you can hear us. Let me know. Somebody let me know. And then I'll be in the know and be able to correct things if they aren't working. Saying also hi to Andrea Ruhenes. Hola, todo bien. Hey, what's happening? ¿Cómo estás? All right. So let's kind of move on here. Jeffrey Sowers just checked in. But Facebook.com, the audience is growing because of you, my friends. The audience is growing. Please share us out and let everybody know that the Jesse T Show is on the air Monday through Friday from 5 to 6. Right here, we cover the whole gamut of general talk. Sometimes we get really serious. Sometimes we have just a lot of hilarious laughs and funs, bring guests in and all that. We're trying to bring in a doctor of meditation today, but it just didn't work out that way. So tomorrow, though, we have Nina Royale. Yes, she is royalty. She's a publisher of a newspaper here in Los Angeles, and we have her coming in tomorrow. She's a publisher of a paper that I write for, one of the many, and we're going to be talking a little bit of Los Angeles politics and the dirt and the inside story. Yeah, man, she knows all about it. Clark Tang's checking in. Sifu Clark Tang, thanks a lot, Sifu. Good to have you along. Clark Tang's a Wing Chun master. Jeffrey Showers just shared your video. Let them know you appreciate it. I do appreciate it, Jeffrey, a whole bunch. Thank you very much. Please share us out. It's important that you help us grow, because when you help us grow, I can get better and better guests for us to have fun with and go more and more places for us to kind of hang out together like we did at the Burbank Marriott on Father's Day. Hey, I don't know if you know, but I know something that I wanted to tell you today. We have, of course, a big celebration coming up this 4th of July weekend. Dan the Man, the Road Dog King, and I were going to be covering a whole bunch of fireworks festivities all up and down the California coast. So we're going to be bouncing around all 4th of July night and having a good time. And if I can scratch off and get Mama T to go with me, maybe she'll go with me. I hope so. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll be bringing you all the different festivities right here on AVTV Live and the Digital Broadcasting Network this 4th of July. Saying hi to Big Lou Pizarro, checking in, brother. Sounds good. Hey, Big Lou, what's happening, brother? Everybody knows Big Lou. He just put together a mastery program of the Burbank, the Fight for Life at the Burbank Marriott. Boy, his crew was out there working, and Big Lou was in a tux. Man, if you had blonde hair, baby, I'd be asking you out on a date. Oh, bada bing, bada boom, he's looking good. Big Lou, of course, the developer and creator of Operation Repo, and what a great show that was for 10 to 12 years. Man, oh man, that and Orange County Chopper are, I think, two of the most successful shows of their reality-based stuff than any other show ever created. Of course, my friend they're over there in Sun Valley who went to Poly High School a few years behind me. We're talking about the bald-headed skinny guy? No, the bald-headed big boy, the white boy with the bald head. Matt Birch became a kind of a regular household name with that show. And they, of course, took it to the Spanish market first because nobody in America had faith that that was going to go. But boy, did they show them up. Hey, and that is a cause to say this. Look, no matter what your dream is, folks, no matter what your dream is, no matter what you're doing, if you believe in something that you believe in, there's always more ways to skin a cat. Sometimes you got to go around the way. There's a great song called Around the Way. Sometimes you got to go around the way to get your way. Hey, 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 every day you're getting better all the time. And that's what it's all about. So they kind of took it to the Spanish market first. And everybody spoke Spanish on the show, except the big white boy with the bald head. He just was a nut. And they took it back into the American reality cable networks. And boom, man, that thing exploded. So that was terrific. So always remember, there's always more ways. You just got to be smart. You got to be intelligent, make it happen. They got a production of the Fight for Life for the Kidney Quest Foundation, the Euclides family, who backs them up. They got a whole production going on there. Hopefully they took some of our round by round feed from the Jolton J and incorporated that into the production. I'm sure they're going to bring it to us and let us see it. And hey, man, I'm taking it to Showtime. Boom! That's what I'm going to do. HBO and ESPN too. Yeah, come on. I'm Jesse T. It's me. I got contacts everywhere. Sometimes I got contacts upon contacts that I don't even know are my contacts. Hey, where are my contacts? Wait, what about my Oh no, I got glasses on. Thank you. Oh, all right. I can't see. I have to have my big lens here. Oh yes, my Sherlock Holmes lens, because I can't see the Periscope people because they're on my little itty bitty monitor over here. Instagram, thanks a lot for checking in with us. Facebook is growing every day. And sure enough, somebody wants to call me every single time I'm on the air. Somebody has to call me. Now go figure. Why does somebody always have to call me when I am on the air and everywhere? It never fails. Somebody has to call me all the time. Don't call me. I'm working. I'm having fun. I don't want to deal with you. I'm going to shut you down. Goodbye. All right. Yes. All right. So we got a good show today, and we're packed up and ready to go. Did you guys ever see that movie, The Goodfellas? Come on now. You saw the movie The Goodfellas, right? And you saw the guys who played the Goodfellas. De Niro was in there. Ray Liotta was in there. Also, who else was in there? Joe Pesci was in there. And just a lot of great actors were in there, right? And the Goodfellas, yeah, the Goodfellas. Well, there's a real life story behind the Goodfellas. And it's really interesting, this life story. And there's something that popped up in the news here recently about the real Goodfellas. John Gotti's grandson was busted with mafia big boss on arson charges. Now, what does that mean? That the mafia is still there. That's number one. The aging wise guy who beat the rap in the infamous 1978 Lufthansa heist could now find himself sent to the slammer because he was so petty he wouldn't let another driver cut him off in traffic. So what he did is he reputed mafia captain capo Vinny Asaro was busted Wednesday on charges. He had henchmen, including the grandson of the late Dapper Don, John Gotti, torch a stranger's car over a road rage incident. I mean, you talking road rage? Oh, man. Well, if you're on the East Coast, you got to be real careful you don't piss off some Italians because they're still the mafia. And you just might get some action coming against you, Jackson. Asaro, 82, was hauled back into the same Brooklyn courthouse he left with a huge grin when he was acquitted just 16 months ago in the $6 million JFK airport holdup, immortalized in the classic mob movie, The Goodfellas. So, hey, according to the defense, Asaro was driving through Queens on April 1st, 2012, when another motorist cut him off at a traffic light, enraging the reputed Bonanno capo so much that he sped up after the undefended man. Asaro somehow got the other man's driver's address and allegedly ordered an unidentified Bonanno associate to set fire to his car as revenge. Man, the mafia is still alive, isn't it? And growing. In the pre-dawn hours of April 4th, 2012, three men allegedly drove in Gotti's Jaguar to a service station where they filled a container with gas and went to the home of the guy who had cut off Asaro, where they doused his car with gas and set it ablaze. New York PD cop patrolling an unmarked car spotted the flames and chased the Jaguar, tearing through the streets of Queens until the cop had to give up for safety reasons due to Gotti's reckless driving. The next day, the unnamed Bonanno associate told a sorrow about the arson, leading the aging mobster to drive to the auto body shop where the burned vehicle had been towed to confirm that his order had been carried out. Now, Asaro, Gotti, and Rouland were all charged with conspiracy and arson in the torch job. The feds wouldn't say anything about the unnamed associate. Are you kidding me? I mean, really? This stuff's still happening? Sounds like the makings for another Goodfellas movie, you know? I mean, you got to watch out when you're dealing with them brothers from the East Coast or Italian, and in Chicago, too. The outfit, there's some serious guys that are still running around there. They're still doing it. They just figured out another way to be gangsters and mobsters without being the gangsters and mobsters that they have been for so many years, immortalized in all of these gangsters and mobsters movies. We got a new movie coming out that I'm trying to fund, by the way, a movie called Mr. Chicago. And we're looking for $30 million. So if you got $30 million laying around, we've got a great movie in store for you called Mr. Chicago, and we're raising funds for that. You know, I do that on the side. I raise money for films. That's one of the things that I try to do all of the time. But you may want to check that out as well. We'll report more to you about Mr. Chicago. It's going to be a great Goodfellas type movie. The tallest skyscraper east of Chicago is open for business in downtown Los Angeles. And boy, I don't know, you know, I just don't know about this one, guys. And I'm going to tell you why. It's sitting right on the San Andreas Fault. It's sitting right on the fault. I just don't know about that. Yeah, it's got 73 floors. It's huge, and it's sitting on the fault line. Now, go figure. The tallest open-air bars up there in the Western Hemisphere, according to La Ace, that's a review magazine. You might want to check it out. It's located at 9000 Wilshire Boulevard. The skyscraper is topped with an observation deck and a rooftop pool. Externally, it's clad with LEDs which glow after dark. The reason Los Angeles traditionally avoided so-called super tall towers is because the city is located on a San Andreas fault line. Duh. Yeah, I don't care what they say, man. I wouldn't want to be up in that skyscraper. They say that thing can move 17 inches in either direction. Now, when I was in New York and I got a chance to go up in the World Trade Towers, the original World Trade Towers, you could watch the other World Trade Tower from the top. We got the chance to go up the observation deck outside. And you could watch the World Trade Towers. They would go like this. It was pretty crazy. They would move like this all day and all night. They would move tremendous amounts, just tremendous amounts. They said, I heard a story that they can move 6 feet in any direction. Now, these skyscrapers can sway 17 inches. That's about that far, right? I don't know. Without buckling, kind of makes your stomach kind of queasy. One of the skyscrapers in downtown Los Angeles has that open air slide that goes down 2 floors when you enter it. A lot of fun, but I don't know. It just figures that our mayor, Mayor Confetti Garcetti, who has nothing in his head but candy and paper. Oh, yeah, it's more fun hitting a piñata than talking to him. Yeah, well, look at it. I don't know how they pass these things, but it's passed and it's there. And, you know, I'm going to go up there and have a little bite to eat. See if I can get in that outdoor swimming pool that's supposedly outdoors. Kind of looks kind of cool. You know, it's one of those once-in-a-lifetime things you just got to do, right? Anonymous is back on the scene, guys. Anonymous is back on the scene. Ooh, Anonymous is back on the scene. And we've got to play Anonymous. Every time Anonymous comes on, we have to play Anonymous on the scene. So I'm going to turn one of our cameras to the big screen. The big screen. And we're going to play Anonymous because he has something important to say about aliens. That's right. So we're turning the big screen around, and we're going to keep the screen on some other things. Hopefully you can see that. Can you see Anonymous? Okay, there's Anonymous. So part of our audience is going to see it. The other part of the audience is going to hear it. I'm going to turn it up. Anonymous is on the scene. Uh-oh, what does that mean? Let's find out. Hopefully there won't be.
NASA, mankind is about to discover extraterrestrial life. This was stated by the spokesman of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration during one of the last hearings of the Committee for Science, Space and Technology of the United States. Are you ready for disclosure? Or are you expecting little microorganisms on a distant moon in our solar system? There are many who claim that unofficially, mankind has already made contact with aliens, and not just little microorganism floating around inside a massive alien ocean, but advanced space-faring civilizations. 25 years ago, we didn't know that planets existed beyond our solar system. Today, we have confirmed the existence of over 3,400 exoplanets that orbit other suns, and we continue to make new discoveries. Professor Thomas Zurbuchen, Associate Administrator of the Science Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters in Washington, said our civilization is on the verge of discovering evidence of alien life in the cosmos. Taking into account all of the different activities and missions that are specifically searching for evidence of alien life, we are on the verge of making one of the most profound, unprecedented discoveries in history, said Zurbuchen during the hearing of the Committee on American Science, Space, and Technology. At the hearing, Professor Zurbuchen mentioned all of NASA's recent achievements in their quest for extraterrestrial life that support his claim. 2 weeks ago, NASA's Cassini mission demonstrated the presence of hydrogen in Saturn's moon Enceladus, while the Hubble team announced the results of the second observation of the oceans of Europa, one of the moons of Jupiter. Both discoveries are potential evidence of life, said the NASA spokesman, who also highlighted the advances made in astrobiology. And while we have not yet found definitive signs of life elsewhere, our search is making remarkable progress, said Zurbuchen, who noted that NASA's number of astrobiology missions is on the rise. Mars 2020, our next explorer, and will continue to advance this quest by researching a region on Mars where the ancient environment may have been favorable for microbial life. The mission will also look for signs of past life and collect samples that will be brought back to Earth, said Professor Zurbuchen. Zurbuchen also pointed out that to prove the existence of extraterrestrial life requires the cooperation of several scientific disciplines as a whole, such as biology, geology, astronomy, planetary sciences, earth sciences, and many others. The NASA Transition Authorization Act of 2017, which President Trump signed into law last month, ensures continued American leadership in astrobiology and the search for life. It establishes the search for life's origin, evolution, distribution, and future in the universe as a fundamental objective for NASA. To accomplish this, the bill directs NASA and the national academies to develop an exoplanet exploration strategy and an astrobiology strategy. While all of this is great news for space explorations and our hopes,
I'm telling you, Anonymous has said it, guys. Anonymous has reported, and that goes on for about 10 minutes, so I'm going to get out of it. It's on my Facebook site. Hey, I'm ready for any aliens. I got the 1911 out, right? Any alien two-headed creatures that come to my door, there ain't going to be any little gray action going on here. Yeah, they got to get it. They're going to look at a 45. That's what they're going to do. Yes, a Springfield, baby. Oh, it's not loaded. The magazine is not even there. Come on. I think I'd be so silly. I'm not goofing around. But I do have to clean the gun because my son and I, we shot it the other day. And so I do have to clean. So let me just check the chamber real quick. Oh, yeah, there's nothing in it. Okay. All right. So, all right, I'm ready. I got to clean the gun tonight. Got to clean 2 guns tonight. We went out shooting. Sequoia National Forest. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, Anonymous has reported to us that NASA will be beginning a false flag alien event which will eventually provide aliens to us. Man, we already got enough aliens. We don't need no more stinking aliens. Aliens? We don't need no more stinking aliens. We got enough of them already. They've been coming over here for 50 years. Aliens from all around the world. That's right. And I believe we got some aliens from other planets too. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do believe that. What can I tell you? You know, those aliens, they're driving me crazy. I mean, have you ever seen an alien in Hollywood? Oh, one day Dan the Man and I, the Road Dog King, were at Denny's restaurant right there on Gower and Sunset. Oh, that's Denny's. I call it Denny's. Yeah, I call it Denny's, right? There's a reason why I call it Denny's. That's another story. But Denny's, and there was an alien with a potbelly pig. An alien with a potbelly pig, you ask me? Yes, an alien with a potbelly pig. It was his pet pig. And here's the funny thing. I asked the guy, what did you just eat at Denny's? And he said, oh, I had bacon and eggs with sausages and ham. And I looked down at the pig and I went, oh, pretty piggy. I guess that's where your sister went. Oh, my goodness. I've seen a lot of aliens in my lifetime. Oh, boy, have I ever. And I am tired of aliens. I don't need any more aliens from Jupiter or out of Andromeda or from the parallel universes or anything like that. I'm really upset right now. And I am so perturbed, aggravated, and agitated. And I'm going to tell you why. And this bothers me. Everybody knows I'm a Trumpster. Everybody knows I voted for Trump. I got no problem with Trump. Okay? He's an outsider. He's cleaning the swamp. That's why they don't like him, because he's not playing by the regular rules in the regular game. He's not part of that scene. They don't like him. They're all running afraid. They're scared. They don't like the apple cart upset. That's what all this is about. You know, they haven't been able to stick anything on the guy. Now the greater media is turning on the Democrats. I mean, Obama, and crooked Hillary Clinton, and all those, and Lynch, and all those people are starting to rat each other out now because the media has gone beep. Can't get done over here. We're going to go over here. Beep, like that, right? So we'll see what they can muster out of that. The FBI investigations and stuff like that. So anyway, here's the point. But I am upset at something. And I'll tell you what I'm upset at. I'm not a very happy camper. And if this goes through, I'm not going to be a happy camper. They're going to delay the vote. And that is the new health care bill. Okay? I'm not happy what the Senate has come out with. And it really bothers me. Really bothers me. Now, I am a conservative, I am a independent, and I am a Republican. All right. Now I did change my affiliation to independent. After they were starting to beat up Trump, I just said, forget the Republican Party. I'm going independent. So I'm back to that again. I shift around over the years like that. One Way Pollo is on with us. Thank you, One Way, at Periscope. Give me some love, baby. Give me some hearts. Give me something. Just don't give me the flying fickle finger of fate. If you don't know what the flying fickle finger of fate is, that means you're under the age of 45. The flying fickle finger of fate used to be this finger, not this finger, not this finger, not this finger, and not this finger. It was the finger that I'm not showing. That's what it was. It was the finger that I'm not showing. And that came from the Rowan Martin show called Laugh-In in the 1960s when Goldie Hawn was hot. Whoo! She was sizzling, dancing in that bikini. Anyway, back to the thing. I'm not real favorable about this. And it's really interesting how mainstream media, both sides of the parties and the wall, they're not covering this at all. They're not covering it at all. They're very quiet on the word. And you know why? And here's the thing. The Dems aren't covering it much either. And the Repubs aren't either, because, in my opinion, they're all part of the same team. I've said that right along for decades. They're all part of the same team. Look, mainstream media is corrupt. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, all the newspapers, all the one-sided talk show hosts on radio. They are all corrupt. I'm not afraid to say it. It's horrible what they're doing with the new health care bill. They're shoving it down our throats, just like the last president did with Obamacare, shoving it down our throats, lying to us and not telling us the truth. Neither party cares about your family's health. Come on, guys. It's just all dog and pony show. And it's illusion and lies and deceit. After 40 years trying to show this to people, I've come to the final realization that no one in this country really cares about or cares about anything. Unless, of course, it hurts them, breaks their nose right in their face. These parties really are in cahoots together in some way, forever tied together, in my opinion. Now, I don't know about what you think, but what say you? I'm for Trump all day long. Way so, because crooked Hillary? Are you kidding me? And the crooked Clintons? But folks, do you really think any of them care about you? Really? Do you really believe that they care about you? You got to think twice. Okay? You got to think about that. All right? It's really important that you do understand that. Okay? It's really important that you understand that it has nothing to do with the party affiliation. They're all on the same team. That's what they are. Saying hi to Please Pass the Mic. Joined. Thanks a lot for joining us on Instagram. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out. If we don't get a health care bill that's fair to veterans, fair to people on Medicare, and I don't believe that we should be paying for everybody. And I know that some people are not going to get the Obamacare. But if we don't get a health care bill that at least covers some of these basic things, that's just a shame. I think we should get the health care bill that the senators in Congress get. That's what I think. You think we'll ever get that? Ha! Yeah, sure. I bet we'll never get that. Never. We're never going to have the opportunity for something like that for you and me. So I'm really not a happy camper about this stuff. We're going to keep a watchful eye. This afternoon, they did postpone the vote because they're having a little trouble with it, on both sides of the fence. Yeah, I hope so. I hope they postpone more of it. We got to get it right, but we got to get a bill because this healthcare stuff is getting expensive. I don't know about you, but it's really doubled up for some people. That's for sure. It's unbelievable. Hey, the number one stolen vehicles the police can't find. Did you know which one it is? It's the Camaro. The Camaro, the new Camaro, is the number one stolen vehicle in America. So think twice before you buy a Camaro. I think I'd rather buy a Dodge. That big Dodge Hellcat beast at 804 horsepower out the door, the biggest production line vehicle right now. I think that's something. Oh, man, I'd love to drive that. You're talking about head snapper. Boy, that is a head snapper. And we're going snappity back, right back on top of your shoulders. It's pretty unbelievable what's going on with that. Now, if you think that we have a problem with our immigration, you ain't seen nothing yet. Oh, you think America has a problem with illegal immigration and border problems? Huh. You got to wise up here, my friends. Look at the world and see what's happening outside these beautiful blue seas of ours, the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. That's what sort of kept us safe. That's why the barrier up north, the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and I think we need to build a man-made barrier like a big giant wall. At least a very minimum to put a lot of people to work. A lot of people need good jobs, and there's some good jobs there. Did you know that the number one of the biggest job providers in America today is people that are working in the recycling industry? So if you're thinking about starting a business, you ought to maybe think about starting a recycling business. Now, I'm not talking about picking up cans and bottles on the side of the road and trash cans. I'm talking about, recycling company with a warehouse that recycles something. We can't get enough recycling going on. That's for sure. But you think we have a border patrol problem? Ours is rinky dink compared to China and India. Think about that 1 second. China on this side, right? China on this side has like almost 2 billion people. India, well, maybe a little more. India on this side has like almost 2 billion people. China almost has 3 billion, 2.5 billion. Now think about that border problem. Their whole country, the south side of China and the north side of India is one giant border. Now, the dispute that China and India are having over border disputes raises fear of a new Asian war. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that people from India are Asian. Oh, you didn't know that? It's probably because they didn't teach you that in civics, because they don't teach civics and history anymore. People from India are actually Asian. They're from the Asian continent. Yeah. That's right. Check it out. Iranians, they're not Arabs. In fact, Iranians are Persian. They speak a completely different language called Farsi. And most of the Iranian people are pretty good people. They're smart, intelligent, business people, love family, education. And in fact, the only reason why that country sucks right now and wants to go to war with the world is because the Ayatollahs who are Muslim idiots. Yeah. And you can blame Jimmy Carter for that one, because it goes all the way back to that regime when he allowed them back in from Afghanistan and Iraq, where they were being held captive so they wouldn't go back in to Iran. The Ayatollahs are evil people. Evil people. They are the ones. But Iranians, Persian people, are not. They're more Asian than anything. So now think of this border and how long and wide this thing is. I'm going to talk about it a little bit because I want you to understand that our border here in America is small compared to their border. It's unbelievable. China has accused India border guards of crossing into its territory from the state of Sikkim on India's northeastern border with Tibet. The Chinese Foreign and Defense Ministries have said complicating an already difficult relationship. Geng Shuang, a spokesman for China, Foreign Ministry said Indian guards obstructed normal activities by Chinese forces on the border and called on India to withdraw immediately, according to a ministry statement late on Monday. Pretty amazing, huh? Yeah. He urged India to respect China's territorial integrity and the border treaties signed by the two countries, and said China had already suspended official pilgrimages at the Nathu Lao Pass, which lies on the frontier between Sikkim state and Tibet. So you see, guys, we got a problem in China and India. You think we're the only ones with these border problems? Really, what's taking place here is they are having a border dispute just like we are, which possibly could lead to an Asian war. Are you kidding me? That's like 3.5 billion people over there fighting each other out. The Nathu connects India to Hindu and Buddhist sites in the region and was the site of a fierce border clash between Chinese and Indian troops in 1967. A lot of people don't know that. This is like history in the making here. China's defense ministry said in a separate statement, India's military obstructed work on a road, a move it described as seriously threatening peace on the border. Now, China hopes, of course, to resolve this in some way. China hopes India will meet it halfway, not do anything to complicate the border issues, and jointly maintain the good momentum of relations. You know that India is the largest democracy in the world? India is the largest democracy in the world. Oh, yeah. Much more democracy than we are. Absolutely. They're having a problem over there. It makes our immigration problem look stupid. They got a problem. And that problem could cause a war, an Asian war. Serious, scary stuff, guys, because both those nations have nuclear weapons. That would be like Russia and America going to war above Canada. Because just the other side of Canada is the North Pole and the Arctic right there. And just the other side of those ice sheets, it's Russia. Russia is only 15 to 20 minutes away with an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. They just shoot it over the top of the earth. It doesn't come from here or here. It just comes over the top of Canada and over the top of the earth. Drops right down in America. Yeah, you got to get your geography to understand what's going on there. So that's kind of scary. So when you start thinking about America's immigration problem, that's an immigration problem. So, hey, man, we're not the only ones in the world. Sometimes we Americans, we think we're the only ones that have these problems because we are so isolated from the world. And that's been our saving grace. That's what God, the Omnipotent One, gave us. The fact that we don't get into these squabbles because we got a beautiful Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, the Arctic or North Pole, all have engaged us in protection. Far away from everybody. That's why we need to build a wall. We need to get that south kind of built up a little bit. So, you know, when you want to look at immigration, next time someone says, who's got immigration problems? China and India. They've got the immigration problems. Hey, go on the website at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. You're going to learn something. Bernie Sanders, there is a $10 million corruption case against his wife. Yeah. Bernie Sanders, Crooked Bernie, Bad Boy Bernie. ABTV Live reports another important item. And I've been preaching this on the show for years. Let he who has not sinned cast the first stone. All these guys are corrupt, man. Guys, all these guys are corrupt. That's why I've been talking about, we got to get back to the people. We got to get back to ourselves, the people. The people aren't corrupt. It's the politicians who are. And don't let you think that they aren't. Don't ever think that. Bernie Sanders is now wrapped up in a corruption case. Unfriggin' believable, isn't it? It blows my mind sometimes what happens when a little bit of time puts distance and they really start looking at people with a fine-tooth comb. None of these cats, men and women in Washington, D.C., would be able to muster the test of purity. None of them. None of them would be able to. Not a single one of them. No, sir. And yet they have the invincibility to think that they can point the finger, put people in the hot seat in these grand juries, ask these stupid questions. Why don't you ask these questions of yourself first before you start pointing the finger at others? Folks, look at the Second Amendment was put on the books not to protect you against me, not to protect us against foreign invaders. The Second Amendment was put on the books to protect us against our government. That's it. That's simple. Us against our government. Our government in the last 40 years has become so corrupt, in bed with the giant banking organizations, big pharma, even the religious organizations. Our government is unbelievably corrupt. And don't let any congressman or woman or senator ever tell you any different. Usually the ones that say, I don't lie, I don't steal and cheat, are the ones that do most of it. Our government is corrupt. What you gonna do about it? This is what I say we do. Saying hi to Dizant, who joined us on Periscope. This is my solution. It's a very simple solution, but I'm afraid it'll never happen. But it is a simple solution. Here it is. Simple. Term limits. Oh, you've heard that word before. But real term limits. Term limits where a senator, I call them a Senaho, because wherever we send them, they become hoes. A Senaho should not be allowed to just serve as a professional Senaho for 20, 30, 40 years. A Senaho should be able to do one term, 6 years. One term, maybe two, 12 at the most. And that's it. They can never serve again. A congressman and congresswoman, they get 2 terms. They get 2 years a term. They, when we send them there, our representatives, they should not be able to go more than 2 terms. Maybe 3. Make it 6 years. After that, it's done. They can never serve again. Oh, they can run for president. And a Senaho can run for Congress, and a Congress can run for Senaho. I haven't figured a name out for the Congress people yet. I'm working on that one. But they can never run for that office again. This will provide people that want to actually come in and do something, have an agenda, and have an end date when it's all done for them. That's how you control the big lobbyists. Because they know they can't buy you for a lifetime. Some say they even should chop that down to smaller terms. I'm okay with that. That's how we solve the corruption problem. That's how we solve the country. That's how we solve something done. That's simple. Doesn't take much. It just takes the will of the people. This is Jesse T. Show. You've entered the world according to Torero. Now you're straight on the point. On a lot of things today. Good to have you along. Every day, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 right here on thepowervoices.com and ABTV Live, the Digital Broadcasting TV Network. Hey, we're archived to YouTube right now on Facebook.com and archived to many other sites. You check us out tomorrow. Nina Royale, publisher of the North Valley Reporter newspaper and online magazine. She is big time, been around 30 or 40 years, huge subscribership. We're talking LA politics, the nitty gritty inside dirt, baby. Yeah, tomorrow, right here on the Jesse T. Show. You have a good one. The Brown Beauty is off duty. Boom! Bam! For those aliens.
While you're feeding your body, feed your mind with thepowerofvoices.com.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate. Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
To effectively represent your interests in governmental relations and outreach, you need Rojas Communications Group. We are a team of industry experts with decades of experience and effective strategies for lobbying and governmental relations. We service trade organizations, local governments, and corporate businesses, tailoring effective programs based on your project specifications. As a Rojas Communications Group client, we will provide an aggressive, cost-effective, and worry-free management of your public policy, political, and communications needs. Let our experienced team handle all of your public affairs.
Can you hear me?
Contact us today for a free consultation. 213-400-8664.
Talk to me a little bit.
Say that again.
213-400.
That's it. Talk to me a little bit.
How's
Lee.
it sounding, Lee?
Turn your
You're
mic.
listening to the Legends Community Show. Hold on.
Turn your mic volume down a
Pull
little
this
bit.
mic. Turn the mic volume down.
Yeah. On number one.
Which one is that?
Number one.
Number one. Okay.
There's a slide that
How's that?
goes up and down.
Yeah. How's that now? How's that now?
That's better.
Better?
Yeah.
Better?
That's better. Mo better.
Talking your mic.
Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop?
How's Anthony sound?
You hear me?
Talk a little bit more.
Hey, Lee, go ahead. He said talk a little bit more. Just talk.
You hear me?
Yeah, turn his volume up a
Can you hear
little
me?
bit. Turn his volume
Turn
up
his
a little
volume
bit.
up. It is up.
Yes, of his, not yours.
That's right. I'm not
Yeah.
spending another night on this.
No, I did turn his.
My new
Okay.
mattress
What about
comes
now?
today.
No.
Was he's on number 2, right?
Bye-bye, man.
On number 2, I slid it all the way up.
Okay.
It's all the way up.
All right, have him talk.
Talk now. Man, that's me. That's me. I got a lot of feedback now. I thought I.
Yeah, your volume is still hotter than his. How
You
close
hear me
is
now?
he? Yeah, I hear you now.
You hear me?
Yeah, he's too hot. Bring him down a bit.
Broken down into steel, foam, wood, and fiber have become new steel, carpet padding, home insulation.
No, he's not coming in clear for some reason.
Biomass fuel, locomotive oil filters.
Are you turning up the number 2 for him?
So bye-bye mattress.
Number 2.
You hear me right now?
Don't toss it.
It's not clear.
It's easy, and it's
Can you
free.
hear me now?
To find
Yes,
a
that's fine. Okay, that's good.
Okay,
Good.
that's fine.
But I can't
Yeah.
hear him.
No, you don't want to hear. I'm not going to hear. Just
Something
talk to
for
me.
everyone is
Stand
found
by.
right here on thepowerofvoices.com.
And now, all the way from San Bernardino, California, it's the Legends Community Show with my main man, Greg Bell.
And good evening, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. We are live and in living color. Got some of my guys here, some of the coaches. As you know, we do the 12th annual Summer Life Skill Camp for Athletes for Life out here in San Bernardino. And I'm going to tell you what, Lee, if you want to talk about hot, it is hot out here. We're burning up 108 degrees every day since we've been out here since Sunday. The kids are having a ball of fun. Josefa's having a ball of fun. And now we're going to take some time to come and talk to some of the coaches that we have here. Joining me right now on the Legends Community Show, of course, I'm Greg Bell. My guy, former All-Pro, Pro Bowl, basically kick returner, wide receiver, the guy that the Chargers always put the ball into the hands. When I was playing with the Rams, my guy here, Anthony Miller, we were just talking about Tennessee. That's your home. No, I shouldn't say home state, but because Pasadena's your home.
Oh, yeah.
But-
Where I got started before I got to the pros at University of Tennessee.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, we were just talking before we got on the air. You were talking about the fact that you came out of Pasadena Junior College, and I had no clue of that.
Yeah, I played 2 years in junior college. It actually, got me the chance to develop as a wide receiver because I only played 1 year of high school football. So I was always really fast, but, getting a chance to play at that level, especially at that time, they made it like the what we call it the Pac-9. They got all the best junior colleges in California, and we played together. and I got a chance to develop as a receiver. Basically, I went and got my heart from the Wizard of Oz so I can play a little better. And, you know, I got to a chance where I started working out, lifting weights, getting stronger, and started learning the game. But when I got to Tennessee, I mean, it kind of all fell together because they had like a pro-style offense and showed me how to read defense and everything. And one thing about our Tennessee, we have a lot of first-round wide receivers. We were basically known as University of Wideouts, and they get you ready for the pros. If you're ready, if you want to be a pro, you need to go to University of Tennessee, especially as a wide receiver.
Now, when I was coming out, of course, it was because of the speed of the wide receivers that were all going down to Tennessee. Not all of y'all kept the ball. You know, I shouldn't say caught the ball when it got to them, because I can give you a couple that kind of dropped those balls when they came to it, but they did run fast.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have some fast ones, but we also have put out some all-pro receivers. You know, we could say Carl Pickens. We could say, well, we had Anthony Hancock, we had Willie Gold, we had Alvin Harper, one of my roommates in college, got about a couple Super Bowl rings with the Dallas Cowboys. You know, how about them Cowboys?
We ain't gonna talk about them Cowboys, but you know what we are gonna talk about? Your former #1 draft pick for the San Diego Chargers, and now they are the Los Angeles Chargers, and you are sitting here on the mic, just as I was a year ago, talking about my team becoming a Los Angeles something. Now you got the Los Angeles Chargers. What was the feeling like? Because you're still down in Orange County. You're still a part of the Charger team and that whole camaraderie down in San Diego. What was the overall feel? Because I'm hearing a lot of negative feels.
I mean, the thing was, you know, I feel sorry for the San Diego Charger fans. You know, they have supported that team for a long time. They just couldn't get it together where they could get a stadium. And, you know, in this day and age, competing against other teams, you need to have a big-time stadium. And, you know, they decided to step up. The Rams gave us an offer to, you know, to go ahead and play with them. And I think it's a great situation. This only thing about L.A., you got to win.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't win, they don't support you. It's a little easier drive for me. I am from Pasadena, so it's right there. You know, that was the funny thing. Like when I played for the San Diego Chargers, most of my family were Raider fans. Right. So when we came up and played the Raiders, I was trying to kill them because of the simple fact.
All your cousins were wearing.
They all had on. I got tickets and they got Raiders gear on. They said, "Hey, we want you to play good, but we want the Raiders to win." Well, now, we had the Los Angeles Chargers. It's funny because, you know, I'm so used to saying the San Diego Chargers. Now they're the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, the Chargers, and, you know, they're definitely not coming back, you know, and I feel sorry for, like I said, those fans. But one thing, we know the Rams are not winning, so we need them Chargers to go up there and win some games.
Well, you know, we talked about that because here's the thing that's probably going to be the most amazing part about having two teams here in Southern California is that, you know, when you move from San Diego to LA, I gotta assume they ain't gonna get a lot of transplants coming. You know, they're not gonna get a lot of the support coming north. So all of a sudden, you have this fan base that knows nothing about football because they haven't been watching the Chargers because they the San Diego Chargers. We're not supporting them, and both our LA teams left. The one thing we talked about all year long was who's going to win this fan base. And the scary thing, if you are a Ram fan, is that y'all have got Phillip Rivers, a quality, stable, you know, consistent all-pro quarterback. And you just got some big-time receivers. And the Rams, of course, Todd Gurley didn't have the kind of comeback season after his rookie year. But now, all of a sudden, I tell you, they know they have to win. So now you got this fan base that has no loyalty to anything. That's got to be the biggest question that's going on in San Diego.
One thing I got to say, Rams have a strong base here. And those fans are similar to the Raider fans. They're going to still ride with them. With us, we just got to get a whole win and get a hold of those fans that doesn't, like you said, don't really know too much about football. But once the team starts winning, they all get on the bandwagon.
Well, we got to have a good, friendly, wager. I don't know what I'm going to win from you, but you do know we play in the preseason. In the, I don't know, it is in the Memorial Coliseum, which I'm not big about going into because where I went to college.
Oh yeah, I know. I know that Notre Dame USC thing going on is a little different, but the Rams were there way before when they first started playing. Like I said, I grew up here. I used to watch the Rams play against all kinds of teams, but still, I can't. If we're gonna make a wager, it's got to be a regular season game. We all know that when we play preseason games, we don't really go all the way out. It's really we shooting blanks,
right?
And guys ain't playing a full game.
Well, then we both got to make it to the Super Bowl then.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Because it's the only way.
And that would be nice,
I think they talked about that a couple years ago that, when the Dallas Cowboys and the Texans were both playing, this could be the first time in the history where two state teams played the Super Bowl in that home state, but it still's never happened.
No.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. Sitting here right now, that's not gonna happen next year.
No, it's not especially the way that team. I'm gonna say the Rams have played. I mean, they're going to a coaching change. We're both going to coaching change. So we're at the point where we're trying to build and get to that playoff mode that where we need to be. That's the first thing. Let's just get in a playoff mode where we're getting into the playoffs and going somewhere. Right now, both teams are rebuilding, and hopefully, like I said, I'm a Charger guy.
Right.
No matter what, they gave me an opportunity, and when people think of me, most likely they're always thinking of me as a Charger.
Right.
And just like I said, a San Diego Chargers that I've got to grow into being a Los Angeles Chargers.
Well, let me ask you a question. You've been coming out here to this camp, about 8 years now?
Yeah.
We've been doing this program 8 years, and I tell you what, we've got a young kid that's at New Mexico State, and I don't know if you remember Eli Lilly.
Yeah, I remember him.
And we talk about Alexander, but Eli had a hell of a year as a freshman at New Mexico last year. Couple punt returns brought back as well as a kickoff. They call him like the new Teddy Ginn. What do you think when you come out here and you see these young men and you're working with them and you're giving them that true high-level training that only if you've ever been there, you can't give it if you've never been there. So what do you think about some of the kids that we see coming out of San Bernardino County and out of the Inland Empire?
It's fun to me when I come out here and I see some of these guys that really can play and compete, because you can kind of talk to them and tell them, we don't talk about being a pro. We just talk about going to college and having an opportunity. A pro is something that if you bless and it's something that happened for you. That's what I always tell the kids. Don't worry about pro. Just worry about getting into college, and the rest will just pay this way. The kids that come out here, you see some guys, you see some hard-hit guys, but you also see some guys that really want to take it to that next level. And one thing that they don't understand, and I really commend you on, is that, man, a lot of times people don't even care about kids like this. They don't understand they're getting a chance to grow at a college level. Something that, as I grew up, I don't know about you, we didn't have this opportunity.
Didn't have it. No, it wasn't there.
They're getting them ready. They're in a college. They're staying in the dorms. This is nothing but prepping you for college.
Right.
And as far as that, I really commend you on that situation, helping these kids. And you've been doing it for years. I done seen it with my own eyes. Yeah. And I love coming out here. I get a chance to come out here. It's only a few days, but you just enjoy it because you're giving what we learned from our talents growing up. And you're passing it down to these kids, and you just try. If you just touch one or two kids, you did your job.
No joke. And I think that's when I first started the foundation 28 years ago. I never knew what was going to be the full purpose of the foundation, but I knew I wanted to be very generic. That's why I called it Athletes for Life. And more importantly, I knew it was going to be tied to football and the guys that, there's nothing like being in the locker room.
Oh, no.
We talk about it all the time. When we get together, I could care less that you played for the Chargers. I could care less. He went to Colorado because, they were spoiled guys at Colorado. But we just love the fact that we all are part of this fraternity. There's less than 30,000 guys that actually donned on a Sunday or Monday night jersey and got a chance to live our dreams. And it's really when, the NFL came out with that NFL brotherhood. And, and that's the truth about it.
And it really is. I mean, just like I said, I've never played with Greg Bell, but we played against each other and we come out and support each other. It's all about that brotherhood, that camaraderie that we have. And if he's doing something very positive, sometimes you want to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. With me, I'm not gonna lie, I might be tired at times or whatever when you come, but once you see the kids jumping around and once we start really competing,
right,
that's the joy that I get out of it. We start running on 7-on-7. It's you get wired in like when you were playing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. So it's like, okay, we're arguing, we're going at it, but that's football. That's football. And only way you're gonna ever be able to understand it is if you played it, right? And you understand the juices get going, and we're going and you're competing and talking, and then you're talking stuff. I mean, it's just all of it go hand in hand in football, and that's the fun part out of it.
And I tell you what, it's been a part of our lives for years now. I mean, I tell people all the time, I'm an old man. I'm 54 years old. I can't get out there and run, and I sure don't look like Anthony. He's still ripped and rocked up. And me, I got about 5 years on you. But the one thing,
no, you got 2 years on me.
Really?
I'm 52.
Oh my goodness! But now I feel young again. I'm about to start getting in shape.
But I might play the part and look the part, but I can't do the part.
No.
I always wanted to say when I finished playing football, I was like, I want to be looking like, oh man, he looked like he can still play. And it's, I know I can. In my mind, I think I can. But when the mind catches up with the body, which it has already done it, because a lot of times when we're out there coaching these kids, you want to just let me just show you. But the body ain't reacting as fast as it can. I learned my lesson. I'm not going to lie. I learned my lesson. I was doing a camp with Eric Dickerson.
Uh-huh.
This was about 5 years ago. And the kid called me out. I said, oh, no. Oh, let me get over here. And they filmed it. And he got all in my chest. And I said, hey, and everybody's laughing. I said, man, I ain't gonna do that no more. I would never do that. I'm never calling these kids out. I mean, I might back in my day would kill them, but right now it just ain't happening. So now I know my place. There's places that we fall in at a certain time. I done fell in that 52-year-old body place. Hey
guys, you're listening to the Legends Community Show. My guy Anthony Miller, Tennessee, San Diego Chargers. I'm gonna give you a little dap on the Dallas Cowboys, guys.
Don't forget about them Broncos now.
Oh yeah, we get about them Broncos because you had great years with the Broncos as well.
I hold a record with them, 14 touchdowns in 1 year. Still stands since '95.
How many?
14 in 1 year. In 1 year, catching the ball.
Yeah, I got 18 running the ball.
Well, that's a little. Remember, we like to talk stuff. We ain't counting the 1 yard runs. They don't count in my book.
Oh.
If you got 18 touchdowns, they're definitely in the 5 yard line, somewhere around there.
Look here, I got some that were 80, 79. I got some long runs in there. People tend to forget the running backs really get some distance on themselves.
How many long runs you got in them 18 yards? He's 54. He might, and he has some concussions.
I'm about to say, now you just asked me to use the memory. And the memory, hey, Miller, it ain't like it used to be.
I don't remember all the 14 touchdowns, but I did get 14 touchdowns. That's what I can say. It wasn't a fluke.
Well, man, we appreciate you stopping in. It's great to have you back out here at the camp. Like we said, we're out here helping young people in the hottest climate. It's not like what I was raised in. I know Pasadena's not hot either.
No, we get hot in Pasadena.
Well, 108
they call it the city of love.
3 days. It's been killing me. 108, and now we got a fire burning out in front as well. So we got to breathe that soot. So we will see you tomorrow, man. I love you coming on the show. during the season, we definitely get you on. We'll be down at Tuttle Click. You come on the Legends show. We'll talk some more Chargers because we got to really get into these Chargers a lot deeper as the season comes on. I want to get down there. Matter of fact, we need to start to talk to the Chargers about getting a part of this program here because they need to be a part of the Southern California family as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, they're definitely going to be the new team up here, and they got to, spread their horizons. Hopefully, we can get some of them players over there, get them talking, and get that, like I said, the Los Angeles Charger base going. And like I said, the most support that we can get.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, we're going to come right back in 1 second, say goodbye to my good man here, Anthony Miller, and then we're going to be joined by Frank Rice, former Raider, Colorado State. What are they? Rams. The Rams. Yeah, I was getting ready to say the Buffalo. Yeah. I don't want to do that to them. That's a whole different concept.
Don't do that because there's two Rams in the house. Just one is a college and one is a pro. That's about it,
Well, that's good, man. Hey, and I got to throw out a couple other things to everybody. We're going to talk a little bit about LeVar Ball. We're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about a few of the things that are going on and want to talk about the fight. It's so much craziness going on. I started talking to people earlier this day about the circus that we're seeing on television now. I don't know about you, but that was a circus fiasco that we saw with LeVar Ball in the WWF. And then I saw Conor Gregor or whoever the guy Conor Gregor talking about Floyd Mayweather, and he's trying to talk in different voices. It's just so much circus going on television right now. How are we going to be able to sift through all of the BS and get down to the real business? We'll talk about that in a little bit. But before we get on to talking about the craziness, I want to bring Frank Rice on. Frank, give the people, one of the things I'm going to tell the public about if they don't know you, you're born and raised Southern California guy.
Yes, sir.
He's also the Alumni Association president. Are you still there? PA?
Yeah, the PA.
Okay, so I killed him with that alumni.
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We all
and Frank, brothers. Like all of us, we come out here every summer, get a chance to work with kids in a different way that most people will ever see or ever learn. So many people talk about San Bernardino, and the first thing that comes to their mind is this shooting or that shooting. What happens here? It stays here. San Bernardino strong. Give me your impression, because you were born and raised here in Southern California. Mm-hmm. How did the Los Angeles community, before when you were coming up, view the Inland Empire and the athletes that were coming out of this area?
Well, it's ironic that you say that. I was actually just talking to one of the great players out of here, R.J. Sauer, the USC.
Oh, yes. I remember R.J.
And R.J. was, he was actually the first player that really opened my eyes to Inland Empire players, because he was, I went to Sarah High School, at the plug Sarah High School in Gardena, and a lot of my friends ended up going to USC. And so I used to come back and hang out with him, and it was just amazing to see how fast and how explosive RJ was. Mm-hmm. And it was like, man, they got players down there like that? I never knew. I was like, wow, this dude. And, on Sundays, and then there was a couple other guys USC had that, Chris Claiborne, I believe, is down from this way.
I mean, I can give you some old retro girls like Ronnie Lott. Man, I can throw that name out there for you as well. Yeah. A lot of great ball players have come out of this Inland Empire. Now, we've been out here for 12 years. I think you've been out here for the last 5 or so, 5 or 6 years. What are your impressions of some of the young men that are basically under your tutelage?
We got some great athletes. We got some good athletes. I'm always excited, especially when I get to, coach these young athletes, these young men, and see their development. And so now I'm starting to see guys come back and they're growing naturally, getting big, and then they're developing. I got a guy right now, one of my receivers is a sophomore last year, ran a 10.5 in the 100. And that's, to me.
When you're a sophomore, those are really incredible times. Because generally, I remember when my track days, you get a big jump between that 10th and 11th grade year. That 10.5 could be a 10.2
easy
overnight. And if you're not a track person, hearing 3 digits drop in a 100 meter might not sound much to you. But man, that's an amazing number when we're talking about being in 11th grade running in the 10-3. Yeah. You know, it brings up memories. I remember Justin Fargas, you know, when he was here in California, he ran a 10-1-8.
I remember.
And you know, these are world-class sprinters in high school. Yes. So we know about the speed that comes out of California. But tell me, you know, one of the kids who came out of our program, and I'm sure you were here during the course, the early part, but Kenny Clark, one of the kids who came out of here. We did the Play 60, helped him with that yesterday. Yeah. Here's a kid, man, #1 draft pick by the Green Bay Packers. When you see a kid like that come up through the ranks and make it to the glory, what are some of the things that kind of dawn on you?
It inspires. It's inspiring, and it's also I mean, for me, for the kids, I think it's more of I can do this now. You know, they see him, they know he came from these schools here. Right. They know he's from the area, and it's kind of how I was in it. You know, before I got to the NFL, I was lucky enough to be a roommate of Joey Porter, which was at the time, you know, nobody knew who Joey was, and people don't even know to this day that Joey Porter was actually a receiver at Colorado State.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So his first 2 years, he played slot.
He had to have been a nasty receiver because somebody like to hit like Joey does, and he was a receiver.
He was a receiver. And so me seeing him go from receiver to defensive end and then going from nobody knows him to a 3rd-round draft pick, and I literally watched him at his house. He had a daughter. He had his wife that was out there already in high school. I watched him work so hard to get to that level. And he was a friend of ours, and so it was like, man, if he can do this, I can definitely do it.
Right.
And so I think these kids, the best thing that we can do as former players is get in front of them and be tangible people that they can touch and feel and say, look, I had to tell my kids the other day, look, you guys, I came from Linwood, right next to Compton. I've been here. I've been to the, you know, Pop Warner ranks. I've been in high school. I've been college, pros. I know what you guys are going through right now. So everything that I'm going to give you guys as far as the information is going to be out of love, respect, and to help you get better and move on to those next levels. And so, you know, seeing guys like Kenny come around and show his face and be here so the kids can touch him and feel him and see what a real football player is like, you know, they realize he's just one of us.
Yeah, he's definitely one of us. And, of course, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Legends Community Show here on thepowerofvoices.com. I'm your host, Greg Bell. Joining me here right now is Frank Rice, former wide receiver with the Raiders, the Rams of Colorado State. You want to tell them about what you're doing now?
Yes. I can tell
what film are you in now?
No films right now. I had a stint in my single days. I was, you know, I was gone a while, so I had a lot of buddies that were ended up. One of the guys that actually went to USC, I forget his name, but he does a lot of stuff in Hollywood, man. And my USC guys got me connected with him, and he got me in a couple movies. All of my friends did Gridiron Gang. I flew out to Chicago, so I was like, man, I just need to get into this TV stuff, man. They paying guys good.
They pay really nice. Yeah. I got a royalty check for years from television.
Yeah, so
you get that royalty check. You don't have to do nothing. Just do it one time.
One time. You go out there for 8 hours and hang out, and then you do 2 or 3 shoots and do it good, and you go on home. And so it was something that I started getting into, and then people started recognizing me, and I got a couple of things. And so, you know, that kind of took off for me for a while. Ended up getting married, and so now I'm raising my family, and I own a restaurant, a Louisiana Fried Chicken.
Really? Where?
Yeah, in Long Beach.
Oh, so down in Long Beach.
Yeah. My
dad LBC. I don't get down that way too much, man. Well, I kind of drive by now and then.
Anytime you want to come, I got chicken for you all day. They call me the chicken man.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, well, my family's been in it for a while. My dad, he bought his first Popeyes. I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
And we have 4 Popeyes, and I own a Louisiana. So I kind of came up through it. This is kind of what I know.
Well, see, you're from Southern California, and your dad probably knows one of my old dearest friends, bless his heart, no longer with us, but Michael Stennis, Golden Bird.
Go sound very familiar.
The Stennis family had Golden Bird. He was mine and Irv's. You know, he was a good friend of all of ours, passed away early in life. It's just sad to see that happen, but that Golden Bird, man, that franchise was there. That was their own franchise. Yeah. Probably had 3 different ones here in Southern California, and discussed franchising it and making it larger. But unfortunately, timing doesn't always happen to work out the way you like. Now, let's talk about the Players Association right now, because so many people are talking about what's going on with the CTE, the trials,
Yes.
different things of that nature.
Yes.
Where does the Players Association kind of fall in with all of this?
Well, it's actually a very unique situation with the Players Association because they're actually not a player.
Right.
And so we are actually, you know, as players, we have our individual cases, and, you know, for all intents and purposes, they're kind of out of it aside from supporting us and what we need as far as information. And so if you need a lawyer, if you need access to correct information, you need to talk to anybody that is qualified or, you know, has been certified, then they can point you in the right direction. But the NFLPA as a entity is kind of, their hands are kind of tied as far as what they can do with the concussion, because like I said, it's for actual former players. Yeah. And so, you know, they provide support, they give us anything that we need, but a lot of guys are, you know, this one I think is going to be us. You know, it's going to be all the guys collectively coming together, giving best practices, figuring out what, you know, we can do to make sure that everybody gets, you know, what they're supposed to get out of the concussion settlement.
And you know, it's one of those kind of things where I'm kind of always perplexed and caught between the eight ball, because I don't kind of, you know, I'm still getting ready to do my baseline.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what I might be missing.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest fear that I have, is that maybe there's something there that I could miss out on.
Yeah.
When, to be honest, and I don't know about you, but I would rather miss out than have some of what I'm hearing and seeing, because, you know, my big brother, of course, was Dave Dorson, who, you know, was the first one to put the chest in his barrel in his chest. And I don't know if I'm ready to go that far.
Yeah.
And so I tell people all the time, I think I'm blessed. Sometimes the faculty is there, or sometimes I can remember, sometimes I might not.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it is that, you know, I'm waking up every day.
Yes.
And I still remember my kids and you know, all those kind of things. But man, Frank, it's so good to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
Now, you in LA, you gotta be a Laker fan.
Oh yeah, definitely a Laker
So
fan.
talk to me about the Lakers' first round draft pick. Was it the right pick?
I think so. I think it was the right pick for the reason of we have Magic there. And I think Magic is the right person to.
But he's in a suit and tie now.
That's fine. That's fine. But he can, you know, Magic has that, you know, when you're around a real a boss, a real man, someone that has that kind of aura that Magic carries, I think you can still learn. I think Magic is one of those guys, kind of like, you know, us. You know, we kind of still want to get in the fire, and you know, I don't think I could just be on the outside looking in and not, you know, as a player get in there and give some good instruction. You know, especially to somebody that's, you know, pretty much he's handing the keys to the franchise to.
Right.
And you know, I think him understanding that by being a former first round pick that they gave the, you know, franchise to, he would know how to get him over certain humps that would come up. You know, we all get a little nervous rookie year, you know, so I'm sure he'll be able to coach him on that. But you know, I think he has a good base, you know.
Well, how do we coach him up on keeping his dad and the big baller brand quiet?
Yeah, well, see, now that's a unique situation, because on one hand you have the big baller brand that has to make a little noise for their money, to advertising and get it out there. Then on the other hand, you have a parent and a child where the child is kind of, he's a quiet guy,
right?
But you know, his dad is putting some stuff out there that he's going to have to back up. And so I think, you know, Lonzo is going to have to, you know, he's going to have to do it on the floor.
Right. I think when I think about the selection itself, I don't think I have any problems with it. I think what I probably have the biggest problem I might have is that he's not vocal enough. You know, when you start thinking about a leader, and if you think about Magic, Magic always had a smile, but he was always talking. He was always flamboyant. He had a leader somewhat quality that it was made. That's why he got the name Magic.
Yes.
You know, because something about it that he had that you know.
Yeah.
And when I watch Lonzo, he's probably the quietest guy I've ever watched on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't care about how unorthodox his shot is because nobody's has been more unorthodox than Jamal Wilkes.
Yes.
And Silk was as smooth as they come.
Don't
I always
go
call.
in.
I see him. I lived around the corner from him, and I
Okay.
see him. I said, "What's up, Cornbread?" You probably don't even remember the movie, do you? Cornbread, Earl, and Me.
I was born in '78. That was right around the time when it came out, so I'm not gonna say. But yes, I do know about
Cornbread.
that.
I see him. I said, "What's up, Cornbread?" And you know, he had that unorthodox shot, but all of that doesn't matter to me. I think probably what the number one thing I'm looking for is some. I guess you could say some veteran leadership, and I'm hoping. And I'm not talking about 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about today.
Yeah, we need one.
Taking advantage of the picks that he has there.
Yeah.
To get a guy like, I mean, you were here when George was probably coming out of high school.
Yeah.
So and probably in some instances you got a chance to watch this young kid develop.
Yeah.
How do we bring? I mean, he's already said I want to be a Laker.
Yes.
So what do the Lakers have to do to bring this young man home? Because that's a touch that we could use.
We need him. Money. Open the pocketbook, Magic. You got to pay him. You got to
Well,
pay
I
him
think
to
they
get
got
him.
the money to pay him. They've cleared the cap space, but who do we give up to get him? Because
I mean,
is it going to be a tenure, a real contract, or we're going to rent him for a year?
No, I think we could get him for enough time to develop. I mean, really, he would be one of the only pieces. I mean, I think the pickup with Brook Lopez was a great pick, you know, because he really, we need somebody active in the middle trying to get rebounds and, you know, not guys looking at the ball and trying to figure out who's going to get it first. You know, Brook is one of those guys that, okay, I'll get it. I'm getting that ball, you know, and then everybody else around him. So now we need that shooter piece. We don't have a shooter on our team right now at all. Now, if George can come in and he's proven, you know, where he was at with Indiana, that he can handle the team and do all of that. Well, if he doesn't, now we got Ball. So I think he's a major piece that we could get. You know, unfortunately, we wasn't able to get Chris Paul a couple of, you know, that time when they
David Stern.
Yeah, when they did that to us. And so you know, we got to stick with the rookie this year, and we have to get somebody that can come in and put some points on the board, somebody that can create shots, things like that, because we haven't seen that since Kobe.
You know, it's kind of funny. We're here. We're talking about Big Baller Brand. We're talking about LeVar Ball, Levon Ball. We're talking about Magic, but it's amazing. You just brought up something that I had to. You talked to Clippers. We don't even talk about the Clippers.
Yeah.
They've been the most winning team over the last 4 or 5 years here in Los Angeles, and it just always amazes me that this team really doesn't have a presence. Really doesn't.
They don't.
I don't know how you change that. You know, they came up with the Lob City that gave them a little presence, but Blake really never transcended the game the way personally I thought he would. And injuries can hurt a guy. I know that point blank because injuries kind of hindered me. But when you talk about the Clippers, I told somebody I wouldn't be upset if the Lakers went after Blake because he opted out as well as Paul.
I wouldn't either. I mean, come on right over. Blake is I think he's a hell of a pick for the Lakers. I mean, he's a hell of a player. Unfortunately, you know, the Clippers just can't get it together in the offseason. I mean, well, not in the offseason, at the end of the season. It seems like every year something comes up. I tell my dad, we was just talking about this on the way from fishing. My personal word for them is can't get right.
Can't get right.
The Clippers just can't get right. I mean, you know, they get close, they always there, and then something just boils over, and they just can't get right. And it's like, you know,
I'd say can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm going to tell you what, I go back to 1987 with the Clippers. I bought floor seats the day they got Danny Manning.
Oh, yeah.
And the next year they got one of my childhood friends, Ron Harper.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought, you know, wait a minute. We got something going. Something's on and popping here. And both of them got injuries. One blows a knee, then the other one. It's like the Clippers have this little
black cloud.
And I guess with the decision that came out last week, moving to Inglewood might change that black cloud.
I think that may be good. It's like they've always been under the Lakers. You know, it's like, you know, you go to their home games and the Lakers stuff is still up on the walls and everything like that. It's like, you know, they never really had their own in LA. It was kind of always kind of how we were at Colorado State with CU, until we started beating up on them real bad and doing stuff. It's like nobody's really thinking about you guys. We're looking at our other team, in the state, and everybody here is Lakers fan because of Shaq and Kareem.
They're Laker fans because they emphasize, they exude everything that is about winning. That's what you see in the Lakers.
LA. Yes, the Lakers are definitely LA. And the Clippers had a time where they were on their way up, and like you said, something just
that black cloud
that they just couldn't get all the way there. Lob City was going good. It's like they almost needed one piece. My question with the Clippers a lot is why they never played Jamal Crawford enough.
Yeah, Doc has been questioned. I'm pretty much amazed that the job is still his right now, because I think he was on the hot seat, and you got a billionaire owner like Steve Ballmer that wants to produce a championship team. And here's the thing. I'm not talking about where you hoist the cup. The first thing you got to do is become competitive to the point where you make it to the finals.
Just get there. Yeah.
And they can't get to the finals.
They got to.
And I don't see a finals in the next 5 years if Golden State stays the way they are right now.
Well, that's going to be the juggernaut for the next, like you said, at least 5 years. I mean, everybody is under 30 right now, and pretty much at the peak of their prime. And guys like that, man, they can take two of their best players can take the day off, and they can still go win games.
And the craziness is that's what they do.
I know
they can take a couple of days off. The players literally can kind of just take it easy. Somebody else brings them up to the next level. That's the amazing part about it.
Yeah, and so now you talk about them, playing a long time in the NBA because they're not killing their bodies, and so they're gonna be a juggernaut. So I think the Clippers are gonna have to look at what's going on in the Western Conference and start picking some veteran guys that can come in there and win right now. Like you said, I think the best thing for them was getting out of that Staples Center and getting their own, facility. What I'm already hearing, the city of Inglewood is very excited about.
I'm sure Mayor Butts is. He's grinning from.
They are very excited.
He looks like the Joker now, man.
They are very excited.
Not only did he bring the Clippers over now, I brought the Chargers and the Rams over. And Inglewood is getting ready to become the city of champions again. It's amazing when you start thinking about a city that's had this much luck.
And
this much luck with one city.
And you forgot the Forum. They just redid the Forum.
We did the Forum, and we do a lot of concerts in the Forum.
And so Inglewood is
good sound.
Very, very, very popular place right now. Real estate's going up. Everything's going up right there. And like I said, the community is excited. My wife's family is from there. Dad is a police officer in Inglewood, and so they're pretty much hunkered down in there, and everybody is happy about what's going on in the city of Inglewood right now. It looks a mess right now because they're building a whole nother city inside of a city.
A city inside of a city.
Yeah, but I'd give it a couple of years, man. It's going to be really, really nice down there.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question, because this has got to jump on me, because I talked about the circus that is television now. Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. Now, so much is being hyped on this. It's almost as bad as sometimes I joke with another. Ice-T now has 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just so much LeVar Ball.
Yes.
3-on-3 basketball and actually got it approved as an Olympic sport. We've been trying for decades now to make football to be an Olympic sport. Can't get it. We got 3-on-3 basketball. And I joke with somebody, when you start thinking about 3-on-3 basketball, and I'm probably 10 years older than you, maybe a little more. Give me your 3.
My 3?
Yeah, give me your 3. Yeah, when you start thinking about 3-on-3 basketball, I'll probably hit you with some names you don't even know about, man, because they so senior. But these guys could have handles.
Well, I would have to take a big guy, and I'm gonna have to go with Kareem. I would have to take Kobe, and then I don't see how you have a team without Michael Jordan. And if I can have those three.
Well. See that? Let me give you a little history. There's a guy who had a 3-point range shot that was 6'10", by the name of Connie Hawkins. Had the biggest hands that ever played the game.
Okay.
Then you got a guy who defends the rim. So you got to have somebody to defend Kareem.
Yes.
Probably the only person we can put on him is Bill Russell.
Yes, yeah.
And when you start talking about shooters, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen a shooter like Curry. You can say what you want about Pete Maravich,
right.
John Havlicek.
Yeah.
There's something special about this kid's release. He seems to have a command of the basket every time he has the ball in his hand.
Absolutely.
And I told somebody, I said, those would be my three. Only reason I say that, and because I'm an East Coast guy from the Midwest, and y'all probably heard about Rutgers basketball.
Yeah, I heard about,
but might not have seen Rutgers basketball.
I never seen it.
That was where Dr. J made his name.
Yeah, yes.
But Connie Hawkins became a legend.
The legend
on
of
this Rutgers court.
Yes.
And Connie Hawkins had a way of playing with the ball like if it was an orange in the hand.
As they say, yo-yo.
Yo-yo, it was like super glue.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, when I think of guys, I almost put Bob McAdoo in that because these were great one-on-one basket guys that could score from anywhere from 15, 30 to 0. And they were finishers. And so it's just, I love when you get a chance to make comparisons and think about some of the players. It always dawns me that, you young guys always come up with present day players. Sometimes you got to do a little history, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Give me a little history. I'm trying to educate guys. Right. I'm not even nearly as old as Connie Hawkins and those. But you know what, man? I was a basketball player when I was growing up, and I wanted to know the history. I wanted to know the history. Yeah. And Connie Hawkins was just something special, man. Yeah. Really something special. Yeah. And then I didn't even talk about Helicopter.
So
y'all ain't
y'all
never
names and everything.
Man,
y'all guys.
Man, these were legend street ballers, man. I mean, Rutgers Court has some of the greatest legends. Yeah. I don't think there is a legend greater than the Helicopter.
Well, Rutgers, the current basketball players, they still go to Rutgers to this day to get the respect. They got tapes where Kevin Durant is down in Rutgers.
Everybody.
Making sure he's giving people buckets. Kobe Bryant, they down there working, giving people buckets. And, and they still play with the street guys, too.
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of beautiful because you're going to have to help me on this one. What is the park over in Compton, the basketball center that they have that's not outdoors, but it's an indoor arena where all the ballers go in Southern California? It's something league.
The Drew League.
The Drew League. There it is. There it is.
Yeah,
I saw a piece on that, and it's almost like the West Coast Rutgers.
That's exactly what it is. It's our West Coast record. I mean,
but they indoors, man.
We're indoors.
That ain't street ball.
It's California. We like the way, we spoiled out here. So.
We want the blacktop on the ball, man. We want to ruin the leather at the end of the day.
See, we spoiled out here, so we don't like to be outside too much, and so guys try to think they can play like Kobe, but the Rutgers, the Drew League is a very competitive league, and those guys from all over. You got rappers in those leagues and actors, and
what is it about ball players that want to be singers and singers want to be ball players?
It's just
and want to be actors. See, look, you went into the acting field.
It's one of those things. It's like, when you're out there on the football field, it's like, man, I wish I could be on TV doing something else. And then you get out there doing something else, and it's like, man, I wish I could be an athlete, a football player or something. It's like, it's kind of one of those things hand in hand. And, we all kind of come from the same areas. And so, I think guys just kind of gravitate to athletes, being an athlete and, the talents, whatever the talents are.
So local LA guys, you're listening to the Legends Community Show. I'm Greg Bell on the mic with me right now. Frank Rice, former Colorado State Ram, Oakland Raiders. I'm about to do what Anthony said earlier. Okay. You get stuck on that name, Oakland, and then go to LA. Who's your pick for Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather? And do you think it's a fight?
In no way, shape, or form is it going to be a fight. Number one, I think this is about the money, about the hype. I think, like they said, the guy from MMA, he said it. He said, listen, we didn't put this fight together. The fans did. The fans wanted this fight, and so we're just giving it to them. But I think all smart minds know, Conor has not been a straight boxer, as long as Floyd. Floyd's record is obviously impeccable. It's perfect.
Perfect.
You know, and if you look at Floyd early on, he went from beating guys up bad to laying off once he got older and knowing how to really, you know,
how to get around the ring,
how to get around, stick and jab. And I just don't see Conor even, you know, is getting a punch. But that goes to say, it's still a sport, still competitive. He still got to come out there and train. Everybody thought Mike Tyson was unbeatable.
And I'm gonna tell you what, I grew up and was around Iron Mike during those times. He was unbeatable, but unfortunately, sometimes we allow the simple things in life to take us down. And unfortunately for him, one simple thing in life the man can't live without sometimes is it brought him down and put him behind bars. And I tell people all the time, I don't care how many push-ups, chin-ups, or dips you do, ain't nothing like the real thing. And him being behind the bar shot down any opportunity for him to literally continue to fight at the level he was so accustomed to fighting at.
I almost cried when that man lost that fight. I didn't know.
Well, see, I couldn't cry because he lost to my homeboy from Columbus, Ohio, Buster.
So you
Buster Douglas. I was cheering for my homeboy because that's just loyalty. But I knew Iron Mike could put him out at any given time. And Buster literally fought the best fight of his life, and then he let it go. Blew up like a pig. Just let it go. And now, you know, Buster makes home in Florida now. But man, if he would have continued to maintain the type of enthusiasm training that he did against Mike,
he'd be good as gold.
We'd be talking about him like we do Evander and all the other guys.
All of them guys.
He would be one of those type of guys.
Yeah, because you're going to get some losses in the heavyweight division. I mean, it's just natural. Good guys are, you know, 200 pounds. Swinging, throwing bombs, and so it's gonna happen. But you don't know what happened with Buster. Buster didn't like you said. He just didn't maintain level of focus, concentration, training.
Maintain level of focus. He went hog heaven on the money. I told Buster, I said, man, don't lose yourself in the dough,
in the money,
and that can happen to anybody who all of a sudden goes from zero to $5-10 million. When you get lost in the dough, sometimes you become the dough boy.
And you think it's never in the supply.
It's never ending. And it can die real fast. And he should have known better because his dad was Bill Dynamite Douglas, one of the hardest hitting fighters. I remember when Ali we were talking about different fighters. He said, man, Bill Dynamite, he had one of the biggest, hardest fists Ali had ever hit, taking a punch from.
Wow.
So Buster knew, he saw what happened with his dad and how important it was to maintain. He just let it go, man. It's too bad. And same thing with Mike. You know, there's a lot of great fighters that have come through LA and we've seen them, and some that you just wanted to see good things happen for. Mike was one of those guys.
I'm glad though Mike is getting kind of back. You know, he's been in films and doing things as such, and so I think he kind of came 360 and kind of realized this stuff, and you know, kind of got up out of that dirt he was in, so to speak. You know, and he seems like he's doing good. My dad loves him. Seen him in Vegas, and you know, he's signing autographs and taking pictures for
doing
people.
The whole
doing
the
whole nine. So, and he's in a couple of movies now. You know,
he got his one-man show. He had that for a couple of years, man. Mike's gonna be all right. Mike, you know, from a kindness standpoint, probably one of the softest speaking. You know, kindest, good heart guy that you'll ever come across. But you know, there was a rage there too.
Hey, you gotta control it.
A serious rage there that he had control over, and I think he'll bounce back just fine. Guys, you're listening to the Legends Community Show. A few minutes left before we get out of here. Just talking to a good friend of mine, Frank Rice. We're all out here in San Bernardino with the 12th annual Athletes for Life Summer Life Skill Camp. If you haven't looked at this, guys, seen this camp, go to the Instagram Athletes for Life Foundation. Go to Twitter under Greg Bell 428. Or just do the simplest thing for me. Look at the Facebook under Athletes for Life Foundation, or look at www.athletesforlife.org. I'm about to blow all my viewers, sending them somewhere they shouldn't go.
And make sure you like the page on Facebook.
Like your page, because I'm not big on telling people that. I guess I'm supposed to do a little bit more of it. I'm getting into that social thing, man. I'm a little on the old side.
Hey, it's free advertisement. You see what Donald Trump did with it. It's out there, man. You know, you get followers.
I'm trying not to see what Donald Trump did with it.
I understand, but I mean, you know, you got it. I mean, the times are changing now, and if you can get a following of 500,000 people that's listening to every word that you tweet, 500,000 people on your website page.
You make it happen.
Yeah, and it's the word starts getting out, and now you don't have to go and pay. Usually for that kind of advertisement, you pay $40,000-$50,000.
Right.
And now you're doing that stuff for free. So
the world of social media.
My business, I try to take advantage of it, and like I said here, you got Facebook page. Make sure they like it. The more they like it, you can even start making money off of this thing.
And there you go. Now you heard it right there. Frank Rice, former Raider for Colorado State Buffalo. There, I did it again. I always kill it. Colorado State Rams. My guy, president of our chapter here for the PA.
Yes,
hey
sir.
guys, I want to thank you for joining the Legends Community Show. We're going to be signing off right now, getting back to these kids. Going to have a college prep night for them so they can talk to the pros. Guys, we thank you for joining the Legends Community Show. I will be checking in with you again next week. Take care.
While you're feeding your body, feed your mind with thepowerofvoices.com.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because